Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Nathan Engelhart from Backyard Auto, and this is my 1995 Ford F-250. And it needs spark plugs. Bad. They're good. And it's equipped with the 5.8 liter V8, also known as the 351 small block Ford. The spark plug of choice for this truck is going to be Motorcraft's Ford OEM spark plugs. That's what was put into this truck from the factory, and that's what we're going to put back into the truck to assure that the aftermarket spark plugs aren't cheaper, so we don't have any further misfires after we just finish this job. So let's waste no further time and get to work. Alright, so we're going to start off with the driver's side of the engine bay. This is the more open, easier side to get to. The reason why I clicked on this video is probably because you're on the passenger side. I'll get that into a little bit of how you could get those spark plugs out the easiest way possible. This side is a lot more open. We're going to start by taking off these two intake tubes that go to your throttle bodies. So let's go ahead and take that off right now. So here's your intake tubes that lead to your throttle bodies. I just took the whole thing out just to get out of the way. Now we have a lot more room to mess with the spark plugs. So now you can see you have a lot more room now that the intake tube is out of your way. Before you go touching the spark plugs, we're going to disconnect our battery cable. On my battery cable, I don't know if this is aftermarket, it kind of looks like it is, but we have a 13mm bolt that just hooks onto there. We're going to take that off and take off our ground cable and get this off of our battery. Alright, so I got all my plug wires off. As you can see, they're just dangling down there. Spark plug number 1 is going to be right there. Spark plug number 2 is going to be right here. Spark plug number 3 is going to be right there behind that dipstick. And then number 4 is all the way back there at the end of the manifold. Now that we have all of our spark plug wires off of the spark plugs, we could go ahead and remove them and put in our new ones. So as far as a spark plug socket, you're going to need a 5/8 spark plug socket. And I got a 3/8 drive on this one to give myself a little bit more leverage. We'll see how easily these things crack loose on here. Alright, let's go ahead and start with our first spark plug socket on this side. I just got myself a 3/8 drive extension to give myself some more room. We'll see how easy these come off. And it came right off. Very nice. Oh, yeah. Now, the center is not that bad. These spark plugs would probably have been okay, but we're just going by the mileage on this. You can see that it's very rusty and that could affect with amperage. But the actual, you want to look at that little white thing right here. It's okay. It's not terrible. It worked. But we're just doing preventive maintenance before we get misfires. I'm going to try the same setup that I have. And it looks like it's going to work. Yep, there we go. We're on. And it cracks right loose. Perfect. Alright, we got spark plug number 2 on this side. This one does not look very bad at all either. It's not terrible. It's dry, it's not dark, it looks pretty dang good, but once again, it's pretty dang rusty on the outside. Are indeed the original spark plugs, as you can see. It says, I believe it, yep, Motorcraft is right on them. I could definitely assume that these are the original spark plugs from the factory. Alright, I got a 3-inch extension. I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my ratchet, and now I'll be able to reach my socket just fine for my third spark plug on my driver's side. Yep, we are cracked loose now. It's easy sailing from here. Alright. This is probably the rustiest spark plug we've gotten so far. As you can see, there is a lot of rust on this one. Looks like this is too long now, so we're going to try the one set that we tried before. Deleting the 3-inch extension and just using the socket and the ratchet. We'll see if that works. Alright, so this one is rusty. The socket doesn't even want to go over it. I found this at the end of the last spark plug. That is indeed part of my spark plug wire. I'll see if I can repair my spark plug wire, but I may need to get wires now. This is just part of the deal when you buy an old truck. Things just start to fail when you try to do simple things. And unfortunately, this is one of the issues. We'll see if we can fix it though. I'm going to say I'm probably not going to be able to, but who knows. And it cracks loose. It came off. Alright, here's the spark plug that gave us some trouble. So essentially what happened, wow, it's on there good. There it is. My goodness. This is what goes inside of your spark plug wires. This seized onto the spark plug itself, unfortunately. That's why you got to pull them straight off as much as you can, or else this could happen. And it looks like I am going to have to get spark plug wires for the truck, which is okay. It's not a big deal. They're not very expensive. But it is very unfortunate that we're going to have a misfire now on this cylinder. So now that we got our entire side done, all the spark plugs are out. We're going to get out our new plugs. And inspect them, make sure that they're not bent or anything. Just make sure that that probe right there is not bent in towards. If this becomes bent towards your probe here, it could cause an arc knot to occur, which will not ignite the fuel. I do not have a gapping tool on me, but I could just see that that this bar right here is straight and it's not too close to my probe. So I'm going to trust that it's going to be all right for my application. So we are going to send it. Now we're just going to hand tighten all of our spark plugs into each individual hole. If there's any rust buildup and you feel restriction as you're trying to thread in your spark plug, stop, get a wire brush or a chaser and clean out those threads to assure that you're not going to strip out the threads. It always helps to have a little bit of lubrication on each of the threads. I just took some WD-40 and just wiped it with my fingers just to assure that it's not dry. But it's just to help with the process of installing these spark plugs. I have all my spark plugs threaded in on this side. I'm going to go ahead and tighten them all up, and then we're going to find out which spark plug wire went to which spark plug, and I'll show you how to do that. I got my ratchet, and if you remember, I did not use any extensions for my number 4, so we're just going to go ratchet and socket set up and just go straight for number 4 first. So I'm now snug. Now we're just going to go a little bit more, and that's it. You do not want to go too tight with this because you could strip the threads right out of the head, and then you're going to have a very big issue. Now we're going to go into spark plug number 3. If you remember right, that we use a 3-inch extension with the spark plug socket, and that worked just fine. So we're going to go to number 3 now, which is behind the dipstick. Just a little bit more, and that's it. Not even a half a turn. Just snug. Number 2, I might be able to reuse this extension again. Yep, I can reuse it. Right there, just snug. And now for number 1 spark plug on the driver's side. So now I need to find my spark plug wire that went to my number 4. And yeah, there is nothing in it. So this is what you need to be careful for. So as you can see on this spark plug wire, you can see that little piece of metal in there, and actually you can see some corrosion. So yeah, this thing is definitely going to need some spark plug wires. But that little piece of metal is what actually goes to your spark plug and ignites the spark plug to create a spark for your cylinder. And this was cylinder number 4's spark plug wire, and as you can see, there is no metal in it, and it corroded right off, which this is very common for older trucks or cars. They just get corrosion inside from water or just from sitting, and they break. And as you can see, there is very bad corrosion at the bottom of this plug. So be expecting a video in the future of how to change out your spark plug wires on your 1995 Ford F-250. Alright, so I currently have all my spark plug wires connected to my spark plugs in the correct order. Now I'm going to show you how I have the spark plug wire so you can do it at home. So this wire right here, this is what actually feeds your distributor cap, so ignore that. It looks very much like a spark plug wire, but it is not. So here is our cylinder number 8 wire right here. It's going through to my 8th cylinder back here, as you can see. So this is cylinder number 8 right here. And then the one that's right here is cylinder number 4, which is going to our even side. And this is cylinder number 5. So number 5 is going to follow down to our first cylinder right here. This is cylinder number 5. And number 6 is right here, right next to it. And this goes down and around. It's looping through here. And number 6, if you can remember correctly, is right next to 5 right there. And then number 7 is going to be right here. This cylinder that I just pointed to was number 2. And this is number 7. This is our final wire for this side. It's very complicated, but I know you guys could get it. Just for some help, I'm going to make a picture right here to help you out if you need some better explanation than me just telling you, and that might make this process much more easier for you. So now let's go do the other side. So for those who are at home doing this in their garage that is not fortunate enough to have a lift, I'm going to attempt to do the passenger side without lifting up the vehicle and taking the tire and wheel well out. So this is going to be a learning curve for the both of us. I'm going to try to remove as little as possible, but still get all the spark plug wires out from this side. This truck is equipped with AC, so it should have all the components that your truck is equipped with. And we're going to try to remove all the spark plug wires and the plugs right now. Let's see if we can do it. I think we can with enough finagling. Alright, here we go. We're going to try to do this. So cylinder, we're going to start from the back forward. So it's going to be cylinder number 4 right here. And it came out flawlessly. Now we're going to go to cylinder number 3. Flawlessly. Number 2. Flawlessly. And then number 1 is right here. Oh. And we got cylinder number 1 out. Now let's take out the spark plugs. See what we can do here. I just want to give you a better view of what I got going on here. There's not much working space, but I am able to get my arm in there just okay. I got all my spark plug wires out. They're just hanging down there. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can't get a flashlight. And that's a lot better. So there is a lot more visual. You can see the spark plugs very easily. There's number 4, 3, 2, and then 1. And there's all my spark plug wires just hanging out here. And now we're going to go ahead and take them out. I think we're going to be able to get away with just doing this under the hood, which is absolutely amazing. It's very hard to do V8s. I just stepped on my bucket. It's very hard to do V8s without taking the wheel well out due to all the clutter up here and the fact that they're on the side and not the top like a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder and such. But it looks like Ford has given us the ability to do it from underneath the hood, which is awesome for ones who are not fortunate with the jack or any lifts or anything. So let's go ahead and take the plugs out and see if I just jinx myself. Alright, enough talking and let's get started here. So we're going to use a 3-inch extension with the 5/8 spark plug socket and the 3/8 ratchet again, see if we can get it out again with the same setup. That felt good, but number 4 is now broken loose. This spark plug didn't look too hot from the top of it, so we'll see how nasty this one is. Oh my gosh. Rusties. So as you can see here, this thing had quite a bit of rust at the end of that. And just look at all that crap that's just on that spark plug. Let's go on to cylinder number 3 now. Cylinder number 3 is broken loose very easily. So here we go. Here's our next spark plug. Rusted, nasty, gross, throw it away, yonk. Cylinder number 2. Alright, we ran into our first problem. I just jinxed myself. So our very first issue we ran into is I have a straight socket and a straight extension, and it's hitting up against this bar. What we are going to try to do is use no extension, just use the ratchet and the socket itself, and see if we can't sneak behind this bar to extract that spark plug out. So let's give that a try. I'm bleeding a little bit. We're going to take my socket with my 3-inch extension and throw away that 3-inch extension and just use a spark plug socket and my ratchet and see if we can't cheat around that metal bar there. I hope we can. See if I can't. I about fell again. I can't. I'm on a paint bucket, okay? This is not probably the best idea, but I'll be alright. Spark plug is coming out. And here she is. Cylinder number 2. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Wow. That is on there. There it is. Do I really gotta say for the 5th time in a row? No, I don't. Bye-bye. Now the final spark plug, number 1. And then we have successfully removed all the spark plugs without lifting up the vehicle, which is a huge win for you mainly, because I got a lift. Not to show off. This one I'm going to use my 3-inch extension because I feel like I'm going to need it. So I'm going to try that at first before I even go with the no extension move and see if this doesn't work. Which I think it will since we don't have anything in the way. And she goes right on there. And it's cracked loose. Number 1 is officially cracked loose. Why, you see that? It's rusted, it's gross, resistance, blah blah blah. Crap, change it. Yeet! Ouch, we are officially on the home stretch of getting this done. Here's all of our spark plugs, all inspected, all lubricated with WD-40. Let's go ahead and insert them into all of the spark plug holes. Next one is number 2. This is the one that was behind that. I want to say this is a coolant line. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. It's this line right here that rides up next to the intake manifold. It comes down, it gets right in the way of spark plug number 2. It's not terrible, it's just an obstacle. Alright, now it's time to tighten them. I'm going to start with cylinders 1, 3, and 4. Because they all use the 3-inch extension with the spark plug socket. And then I'm going to go with just the ratchet and the socket setup for cylinder number 2 due to that coolant line. At least I think that's what that is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ugga. Dugga. Cylinder number 4 is installed. Cylinder number 3 is installed. Now for number 2, we're going to remove our extension and socket setup, remove our 3-inch extension, and just go for socket, ratchet, bada boom, bada bing, righty tighty. And sneak behind this line. I'm not even going to call it coolant line no more because I'm not sure if I'm right or not. Alright, cylinder number 2 is officially installed. Now it's time to put up our spark plug wires. Yippee. So we got 8, 4, which that's ours. So we need this one. So this is number 4. So I'm looking for movement. So this one's number 4. I'm just pulling on the wire over there, feeling for this one to move. This is my number 4 spark plug wire. And number 4 is all the way to the back. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in. 8, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, that's right. And then 2. Once again, we're going to pull on that one. I don't even know what I was thinking. 6 is over there. 1 through 4 is over here. This is number 2 I'm pulling through right here. Right there. So this one is number 2. You just have to pull in the wires from the distributor cap to be able to tell which one goes where. So this is number 2, which goes right yonder. 2. Hey, what's next? 8. We got 4. We got 5. That's 6. This is 2. This is the one we were just messing with. Now we got 7. Then 3. So this is one we're worried about. No, there's 3 right there. You saw that on the camera. That's pretty much what you're looking for. Is when you pull on the wire, it moves. And that's the one that you plug in. And then let's all take a guess at which one is number 1. This one, the only one that's left, goes right here. And now when I start this up, it's gonna miss due to the fact that my spark plug wire is broken on that side. So we're gonna go ahead and install our intake tubing to our engine. Right. There's 2. There's 3. This has a dead battery. I don't know what happened there. It ran pretty dang freaking smooth for me believing that there was a bat. I mean, look, this came from the spark plug wire. This actually latches onto the spark plug. Surely it would have misfired. I'm still changing out all the spark plug wires, so next video you're gonna be seeing that. But the fact that it ran that smooth with a dead hole, that's pretty impressive. I was not expecting that. I was expecting like a little bit more craziness, but hey, I'll take that. That goes to show that my timing was on point. That shows I'm trustworthy, and you could follow the steps I took to find out which spark plug wire went to which cylinder hole. But yeah, that's it. We're done. Congratulations.